This is She Creates Business, a podcast for wedding pros. Your host, Kinsey Roberts, interviews incredible women in the wedding industry who are making their mark and creating success on their terms. Join the conversation.
Hello there. Welcome to episode 177 of She Creates Business, a podcast for wedding pros. This is your host, as always, Kinsey Roberts. Thank you for joining me today. You and I are going to have a quick 15 to 20 minute chat. I have been kind of marinating on this topic for a couple of months, and it stemmed from some feedback that I got from a presentation that I did for a third party and all about diversifying your income streams. And I was lucky enough to get written feedback from some of the attendees. That's my favorite. I want to improve. I want to be better. I want to share better information. And so feedback, good or bad, is never indifferent to me. I always want to know all of the good, the bad, the ugly. That's how we improve. That's how we grow. And one of the comments in the feedback section really stuck out to me. And this is the one I've really been kind of ruminating on and marinating with and sitting with for the last few months since I have given this presentation. And I thought I would share it with you because what I have discovered about this feedback and really just about this theme in general, it's not even about this particular feedback. This was just the starting point. But what I have discovered is that we have so much power over our businesses, so much more power than we realize. I think especially in 2020, it feels like things have just happened to us. And that's true, you guys. That's true. I don't hear what I'm not saying. It is true that shit happened in 2020 and it sucked. And hopefully we can move on soon, right? You know what I mean? But there's a lot of things that we just let happen to us. And I'm speaking outside of coronavirus, obviously. And I want to talk to you about that today. Let me read you this feedback that I got. And then I think the title of this episode, How Not to Become the Blockbuster Video of Your Local Market, will make sense. So again, the title of my presentation a couple of months ago was Diversification in Your Wedding Business. So we talked about diversifying income streams, yeah? And here's some of the here's this feedback. I'm going to keep everything anonymous because I think that's the right thing to do. Here's the feedback. My question was not answered or addressed. My niche is now being overtaken by people diversifying. So years ago, I had a lot of design business because I was a specialty, and now I don't have a lot of business. I want to know what I can do to bounce back. She, meaning me, Kinsey, did not address how diversifying affects the specialty people. She did not address which areas in the wedding business this is best for and probably not that easy for. Great feedback. That is a really, really thoughtful piece of feedback that, for those of you out there who are also speaking and presenting, and even if you're not, it doesn't matter where, to yourself, to your team, to anybody, I hope you'll take some of that information, learn from my mistakes, learn from what I can do better. And I hope part of that may have helped you understand when you're presenting a specific topic to be a little bit more clear. So first takeaway from this is that she did not address which areas in the wedding business this is best for and probably not that easy for. So which areas it wouldn't be that easy for. And here's what I want to say to that. When it comes to not becoming the blockbuster video of your local market in your category, it is not my job or anybody else's job to help you understand what is best for your business. It's not our job. It's your job. You're the business owner. You are the person who is responsible for every piece of the business. It's your job. And I want you to understand that. And if I met this person, I would go toe-to-toe with them face-to-face. Like, I'm not your mommy. It's not my job to help you understand what's best for you. It's also really challenging. And this is why I feel so strongly about this one part of the feedback, because they said, and not that easy for. Easy being the operative word. Something that I've learned in almost 200 episodes of this show, 4 years of podcasting, 4 years in the wedding industry, over 10 years in marketing, is that so many businesses want everything to be easy. especially small business owners. What's easy? What's the easiest thing? How can I make this easy? What's going to, bring me six figures of income, but it's easy? Here is something that's very simple, and you can tuck this in your pocket and take away with you. Business is not easy. You're welcome. The end. That's the end of the show. I'm just kidding. Business isn't easy, you guys. It's so hard. Can we all just high five on that for a second? Let's just all get a virtual hug. Business is hard. Business has been extremely hard this year for, circumstances completely outside of our control. But when it comes to diversifying your business, that's inside of your control. You have control of that. And I don't accept that things have to be easy for you to get done. They don't. The other thing that I want to talk about when it comes to diversification, and I want to tell you how this relates to Blockbuster Video, is that she did not address how diversifying affects the specialty people. And I'm just going to say it right now, and you might be upset with me, and I totally understand. You can @ me on Instagram if you want to. You can DM me. I don't really care, but I don't care how it affects you. I don't care. I care to the extent that I'm not trying to come in and cannibalize your business, but I am not going to hold myself back from a place in the market because you're scared to make your business work. That's not my job. I don't have to blow out your candle so that I can shine brighter, and I'm certainly not going to do that. But I'm not going to water your flowers and let mine dry up and die so that I don't make you feel bad. Do you hear what I'm saying on that? And I'm using myself as an example because I don't want to put words in anybody else's mouth, but I think this is a problem in the wedding and creative space where we say, "Oh, I want to do XYZ or I want to do ABC, but so and so's already doing it and I don't want her to not like me or I don't want blah 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 to feel bad." And listen, you guys, we don't have to crap on each other and make each other feel bad. But we also can't stop ourselves from business growth and opportunity because you don't want to make people feel bad. You are not in charge of other people's feelings. And the sooner that you internalize and understand that, the sooner you could probably get over the hump of maybe offering a service or a second business or creating another income stream that you've been wanting to do. I'll give you an example. I've thought about offering rentals through VistaView events. Katie and I both have. And we have very few rental companies in our market. And it would be super clear who we were going head to head with. And guess what? I don't care. I don't care. Again, I'm not out there to blow out someone's candle, but I'm not also out there to disservice my own business, right? Why would you cut off your nose to spite your face? It's silly. That's a silly attitude. So if that's how you feel and you don't want people to grow because you're afraid of what it's going to do to your business, you got bigger problems than that person diversifying. I'm going to say that one more time. If you do not want other people to grow into your share of the market because you're scared of what it's going to do to your business, you have got bigger problems than that person. You've got way bigger problems. That person is irrelevant. Let me tell you about Blockbuster Video. I don't know if you know this, but back in, what was it? Back in 2000, Blockbuster had the opportunity to buy a little fledgling business, just a tiny little fledgling business 20 years ago called Netflix for $50 million. 20 years ago, Blockbuster Video could have bought Netflix. That's right, the Netflix for $50 million. And they said no. They turned down the opportunity. They turned down the chance to do that. Why did they do that? Because they were in their prime. They had a huge percentage of the market. They thought that it would always be this way. They didn't understand what Netflix was trying to do. They couldn't see the forest through the trees. They couldn't understand where their business should go. They thought, no. We're not going to take up any more. Netflix is not taking up any market share from us. So we're just going to chill. We're not going to spend $50 million. They enjoyed, probably 14 more years of success until they started to really decline in 2014. And guess how many Blockbuster Videos are left? None. They're bankrupt. They closed down. I think there might be one store left in the whole country. That is the issue with thinking that you are safe forever just because you don't think anybody can push into your space. If you are not going to take the time to be innovative, if you are not going to take the time to see how you can bring other people along, if you are not going to take the time to diversify your revenue streams, if you are not going to take the time to understand how your client experience and your word of mouth marketing strategy, I hope you have one, is impacting your business, then don't be worried about what I'm doing because I'm going to pass you and you're not going to understand what happened. Netflix is now worth billions of dollars. And Blockbuster could have had it for a mere 50 mil. That sounds like a lot, and it is. But compared to what Netflix is worth now, it's a trifle. And nobody leading that company, leading Blockbuster, understood what Netflix was capable of. They couldn't vision cast for Blockbuster. And so they missed out on this huge opportunity. Now, listen, I'm not going to sit here and understand. I can't tell you that I understand the ins and outs of Blockbuster's decisions. They're a huge company, especially at that time in 2000. I'm sure they had all kinds of reasons for not purchasing Netflix, but what a mistake. What a mistake. And they know that. I don't have to say that. And I don't want that for you. I don't want you to be the Blockbuster of your local market because you were too afraid to take chances. You think it will always be this way. You will always be the big kid on the block. You will always have the same market share. You will always get what you want. You will always have enough clients. Nobody's ever going to come in and try to take your share. And that's not correct. And I hate to say it that way because people are not actively trying to hurt your business and trying to take your market share. But when it comes to servicing our clients, that's my thing. That's what really frustrates me when I talk to my marketing clients, when I talk to people from the podcast, listeners of the show, and they tell me about diversifying their revenue. This is one of the main things that stops them. They have this incredible idea. It would be a boon to their industry in their local market. It would really help their clients because that's who we should actually all be thinking about, are the people paying us money to use our services, right? But they don't want to do it because they think they're going to step on someone's toes. And I think that is so short-sighted. Do not be the Blockbuster Video of your local market. Listen, there is a way, and I said this a few minutes ago, there is a way to diversify your income and to grow in business opportunity and bring people along with you. You can create partnerships. Maybe you can buy out a company who's not doing well anymore, and that cash flow influx would be great for them to move on to the next phase of their life and the next project. You never know. There's a lot of ways to bring people with you in your success. You do not have to step on toes. You don't have to step over people and kick dirt in their face on the way there. But you also don't have to wait for them to give you their blessing because that's not happening. Because a lot of people, like this person and their feedback, are scared. They're scared, especially if things are not the way they used to be. So my niche is now being overtaken by people diversifying. Years ago, I had a lot of design business because I was a specialty, and now I do not. I want to know what I can do to bounce back. Unfortunately for this person, and I would really have to dig into their business to say this without a doubt. So I'm not saying that I know this factually, but I have a pretty good guess that unfortunately for this person, they're asking the question a little too late. Now, could they bounce back? Absolutely. Everybody loves a comeback story. Don't call it a comeback. You know what I mean? Everybody loves a comeback story. They can absolutely bounce back 100%. But they're asking this question too late. I don't want you to get to a point in your business where you have to ask this question. I want to know what I can do to bounce back. If you have to bounce back, your business is, and I'm going to say it, circling the drain. Because that's the way they said it. We need to bounce back. We need to come back. That means they have reached a pinnacle point or a turning point where they either need to bounce back or they are going to close. And number one, that's not what diversification is about. And I say that at the beginning of every presentation. Diversifying your revenue streams is not going to save your failing business. That's not what diversification is about. So there's that. Let's just get that out of the way. But what you need to be asking yourself, for those of you who are not at the point yet where you're like, oh my gosh, I need to bounce back. You need to be asking yourself, how can I stay innovative? How can I stay creative? How can I stay ahead of the curve? What can I do that's going to keep me ahead of my competitors in my local market or the markets I serve? What have you? Insert your market here. Those are the questions you have got to ask yourself every single quarter. Why? Because you should be doing that business audit that I have talked about in previous episodes. I will put that episode in the show notes. You have got to audit your business every single quarter and ask yourself those questions every single quarter so that you can always be on the cutting edge of your market and not asking yourself how you can get back to the good old days. Right? Don't you feel this is sort of like, I like this analogy. This is sort of like the good old days. When you're talking to somebody who's older than we are, who's older than you, and they talk about the good old days and there's a bit of sadness in their voice because they're not remembering the good old days like, oh, those were great times, loved those times, but also like they're nothing compared to now because it's amazing. And it's more like those were the good old days. I'd give anything to go back there. I don't want that for you. That's sort of what this is reminding me of. And if you can avoid that, now I'm not saying our businesses won't go through hard times. Heaven knows we have all learned that this year in 2020. But if you can understand how to keep your business moving forward in hard times, and if you are constantly asking yourself, how can we be better? How can we serve our clients better? What do they need from us? And what can we provide on a consistent, sustainable level? That's where you're going to see magic happen. And I don't want you to get caught up in the answer is diversifying because it may not be, right? So I actually recorded a podcast episode that will be released later this month today that was about something a little bit different. It was about target market, but we talked about how we talked about increasing your prices and the difference between creating more profit in your business and increasing your prices. And so a lot of times when people want to increase their profit, they think they have to increase their price. And for many of us, that's true. Like that just goes hand in hand. It fits like a glove. Yes, increase your prices. That will raise your profit. But for a lot of us, before we increase our prices, there's some other things we could be doing to increase our profit. There's some places we could cut expenses. There's some processes we could super refine so that we plug holes in our business where we're just hemorrhaging money. There's some decisions that we could stop making that make us spend money that's not returning any booked clients and things like that. And that can help increase profit. And so the same is true for diversifying your business. Even if you think diversification is a good idea, again, I can't say this enough. Diversification is not going to fix your broken business. So if your business is broken, if it's beyond the point of no return, if you're trying to get back to the good old days, diversifying may or may not help you. It likely will not. There's something else wrong. It's not because you don't have enough income streams. It's because you don't have any income at all. And for you to look externally and shake your finger at other people and tell them they are responsible for the destruction of your business is a victim mentality. And I don't like it and I don't want it for you. So let me just wrap this up by reminding you that Blockbuster Video, who is now closed, could have purchased Netflix in 2000. They chose not to, and now they are closed, and Netflix is not. The only thing I want you to get out of that is that you have got to vision cast for your business. You have got to constantly audit what you are doing and figure out how to stay ahead of your competitors. That is the name of the game. I said this in a previous episode, but in order to be in business, you have to have current clients who are paying you and a method to get more of those clients who are paying you. That's called a marketing strategy, friends. And you have to have a way of sustaining all of that on a consistent basis. So you have to have clients who are paying you, a method to get more, and a path to sustainability so that you can do that on a consistent basis. Diversification may or may not be for you, but I don't want you to be like this person and this feedback and tell me that it's their fault. All these people diversifying are the reason I don't have business. That's not true. You are the business owner. Take responsibility for your business. Get your gloves on. Let's get dirty. Renee Sabo, if you're listening to this from the Confetti Hour, you'll understand what I'm saying. Thanks for listening, you guys. I'm here for you. I'm cheering you on. I believe in you. I believe in your business. I know you can do it. Let's go get them. 2021's coming up. Let's get after it. Love you guys. We'll see you on the next episode.
Thank you so much for listening to She Creates Business. Please take a minute and head to iTunes to leave an honest review so we can help more wedding pros find the show.